Good day, everyone. My report is about spiritual self. So, what is a spiritual self? A spiritual self is who we are at our core. It is more permanent than the other two selves, material self and social self. According to William James, in his book Principles of Psychology, is concerned with the innermost workings of a person's intellect, conduct, beliefs, and morality, which encompass all aspects of the human as a person. The spiritual self is who we are at our most fundamental, subjective, and personal level because of the satisfaction it provides. It is described as the most enduring and personal element of the self. In general, spirituality entails not only believing in specific deity, but also being free of materialistic and physical desires. As a result, a spiritual person is someone who has a greater connection with himself or herself to others and to the environment, which some philosophies refer to as connection with the cosmos. And some ideologies think that the person is related to himself, to others, and to the environment, with some even believing that a person is connected to God. So, what is the significance of the spirituality? So, don't just consider religiosity, you must also consider spirituality. In general terms, it's about being connected to a divine entity or a moral or thinking divine code, or having a mission or a quest. Another method of spirituality is through being connected to a nature, and when we don't have this connection, we experience what existential psychology refers to as meaninglessness, existential vacuum, or existential crisis in layman's terms. What is our purpose in the world as we consider it? As a result, spirituality is about discovering your purpose, which may or may not be tied to God or a god. And according to the existential psychology, meaninglessness is a factor that contributes to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. That's why it's critical for a mental health professionals, particularly those who believe in existentialism. Here are several practices from my report that I want you to be aware of. However, from another perspective, this is referred to be contemplative practice, and it does have psychological advantages. As a result, contemplative activities can be thought of as a way of focus deeply, gain insight and understanding, and grow mindfulness and compassion. And here are some examples. Mindfulness is an activity in which you become more aware of the here and now because many people are stuck in the past or worried about the future, and thus they do not live in the present. With mindfulness, we want to bring the person to the present. And how we do that? We want the person to become aware of his or her surroundings. We ask the person to close his eyes and then let him or her feel the sensation he or she experiencing. Is that anger? Is that happiness? Is that sadness? Or we might simply concentrate on exterior sounds. Mindfulness is all about becoming more conscious, and believe it or not, even if you think it's shallow intervention, individuals who have gone through mindfulness say it's not. You can also pray, which is an invocation or act that aims to establish a relationship with an object of worship through conscious communication. When people pray, they often experience wonderful emotions. So, what are the spiritual self manifestations? These are the person's will, intelligence, and abilities Morals and values. The things that a person wishes to do their lives are referred to as person's will. Intelligence and abilities are the things that a person believes he can do and that he has a certain mastery of morality or the things that are acceptable to him or his understanding of right and wrong. The values or the ability of a person to prioritize depending on what is essential to him. As a result, these manifestations aid in making life decisions. Let's proceed the concept of dungan. The spirit and soul is a life force and energy, an ethereal entity with its own will that resides in the human body and gives life's essence. It can leave the body temporarily. Dungan, on the other hand, varies from the Western understanding of the soul in that it is thought that the dungan can leave the body for a short time. For example, when you are asleep and the dungan returns to your body, you will become conscious. This is a part of our belief system and one of the oldest because our ancestors believed that everything in nature has its own spirit and divinity, and that souls are physical and may live outside the body, such as in dreams and visions. The souls exist in two dimensions, the physical and spiritual dimensions of the human body. When they are together, you are alive, but when your soul fully detaches from your body, you are dead, and the possibility of your soul attaching to another host is considered. Our ancestors believed in the presence of the seeds and central souls and the environment, as well as natural force that can be invoked for assistance. Let's take a look at the meaning of life. So, what exactly is the purpose of life? Meaning is something to uncover rather than invent, says Viktor Frankl. And it's the same concept as inner contentment, life fulfillment, self actualization, and deep spirituality. He believes that there is an existential vacuum in life, which means that it is empty, pointless, purposeless, aimless, and brief. So we'll talk about Viktor Frankl's logotherapy, which is a therapeutic approach that helps people find personal meaning in life. It's based on the idea that a man's primary motivation is to find meaning in life. The three key concepts using Frankl's and psychology are follows. Life has meaning under all circumstances. The main motivations for living is own will to find meaning in life and freedom to find meaning. Let's talk about religious and other terms now. Religion is defined as the belief and worship of a higher than human ruling power, such as God or gods. And when we say that you follow a certain religion, we mean that you follow a specific system of faith and worship. And each religion has its own style of worshiping a particular deity. There are also cultural considerations to consider, and they have their own means of honoring to the deity they adore, which may be traced back to their cultural roots. And we have four dimensions of religions, which can be observed in every religion. The first belief in every religion has its own set of beliefs. For example, do you believe in one God or do you worship a variety of gods? Do you hold specific beliefs or values? Do you believe in gratitude? Do you believe in forgiving others? As a result, the religions that we follow has instilled in us a number of beliefs, ideals, and values. Following that, Each faith has its own set of ceremonies. When we say ritual, we're talking about repeated gestures or activities like prayers or mantras, which could be meditation, prayer or Sunday service, a rosary, and so on. We also participate in a lot of sacraments or ceremonies like christening, confirmation, and coming of age, which are all common rituals. After that, religion emphasizes spiritual experience. Therefore, there is a sense of direct connections with the greater being in every faith. However, depending on the faith to which we belong, the type of relationship we have with the higher being may differ. For example, we are allowed to refer to God as our Father in Christianity, but this may not be the case in other religions. Their God may be referred to as God, but He is not always referred to be a Father. We believe in the same religion. We are linked in a single community called church, which permits us to have unique social forms of community. What are the functions of religion? These are the functions of cognition, emotion, and social interactions. As a result, the cognitive functions allows human to explain the unexplainable. Emotional functions assist the human in coping with the stress that commonly comes with illness, accidents, funerals, and other calamities. The social functions, on the other hand, provide for social control, dispute resolution, and group unity. Remember that one of the instruments employed by the Spaniards during their colonizations of the Philippines was their religion, which they taught to the Filipinos that the time and attempted to eliminate the Filipinos' current religious practices. Myth, rituals, and the supernaturals are some of the other topics I can come across while researching the spiritual self. Myth is a hidden story that explains the basic of human life. Supernatural is attributed to some force beyond scientific knowledge or the laws of physics. And rituals are culturally prescribed symbolic acts or procedures aimed to help members of the community through transitions. That's all. Thank you and God bless everyone.